Good afternoon to you and welcome to the 2020 Matrix Awards. I had the honor of being your MC today. My name is Beyonce, but you can call me Gayle King. Today's Matrix Awards are unlike any we've ever had before. Just look at where we are. After all, you're seeing me through a screen rather than in the same physical room. Who would have thought all these months later, guys, we would still be doing this virtually, but here we are. 2020, as we know, has been quite a year for all of us. And though we can't be together in the room together, it is still our goal and our belief that today can still be a very meaningful time of connection and inspiration as we celebrate the amazing work of so many incredible women. Nothing, even COVID, can't stop this celebration. Today, we're celebrating the 50th year of the Matrix Awards. Think about that for a second. Since 1971. You remember what you were doing in 1971? I do. I was a junior in high school. The Matrix Awards have been given annually to outstanding women leaders who exemplify excellence, have the courage to break boundaries, and a steadfast commitment to champion the next generation of trailblazers, creatives, and communicators. To celebrate this very special anniversary, part of the show will take a look back at the incredible women that we've honored over the past 50 years. The Matrix Awards are presented by New York Women in Communications. It is an organization that empowers women across communications disciplines to reach their full potential by promoting the professional growth, inspiring them to achieve and share their successes. We can all help with that. And helping them navigate the evolving and converging world of communications. So today's Matrix Awards highlights our industry's most outstanding leaders and celebrates all the courageous women that have come before them and those that we know will come after that. You know, there's a lot of really bright women that are coming up behind us, and that's always a good thing. So throughout the show, you're going to see 6 different segments featuring our Matrix honorees, each presented by some of the top journalists and executives in the field of communications. We'll also be honoring our Incite Award winner, that's Tchen. You go, Tina. We'll also hear from a generation of up-and-coming leaders, our scholarship recipients. Each year, New York Women in Communications award scholarships to graduating high school seniors. Have you seen these people? They are amazing. And undergraduate and graduate students who intend to pursue or further a career in communications. After all this time, don't we still love our jobs? I'll go first. Yeah, we do. The theme of today's program is Women Leading the Way. And before we look back and reflect on 50 years of the amazing women of Matrix and NYWCI, try saying that fast 3 times, I want to take a moment of pause for the woman we recently lost that led the way for us. Of course, I'm talking about Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She served for 25 years on the Supreme Court after a groundbreaking career as an advocate for gender equality. We all know Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, they say that you can't say the word truth without spelling the word Ruth. That's true. She died at the age of 87, but her legacy continues to live on. We grieve for her, we celebrate her, but we also carry her torch forward. So please join us all for a brief moment of silence to honor her amazing work. Thank you for that. Ruth, we'll always remember you. Today, we are highlighting amazing women at the peak of their careers, and also those that are just starting out. So with that in mind, we thought we'd take a little look back, go back on memory lane for a second, at some of the women who've been honored for leading the way over the past 50 years through NYWCI's history.
For decades, women in communications have led the way for equality.
And welcome.
Are you ready for some fun?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Who the hell let us in?
Today, we celebrate the Matrix honorees of the last 50 years for breaking down barriers for all women.
We're saluting those who make it all happen and are finally getting the celebration that they deserve.
To be an individual is all right in this country.
Fearlessly, they broke the rules to pay it forward.
You have to write your own rules.
Get an education and become your own boss.
Tell everyone, tell the whole world it can be changed.
You know, in my heart, I think the only alternative to being a feminist is being a masochist.
Ready or not, here I go.
Equal rights to have a job, to have respect, to not be viewed as a piece of meat. We're the bottom third of the employment in terms of pay.
The New York Women in Communication worked with confidence and a sense of humor.
Someone once told me that sincerity is irony plus 2 drinks.
Martha, dear Martha, anything I can do, you can do better. Potting a plant or knitting a sweater.
And their willful energy empowered the world.
Just the power of these women is actually electric.
To be a feminist in media in those early days took courage.
Now, these were the mid-'70s, mind you, when most women then in the corporate world were wearing those navy blue suits with ties, desperately trying to blend.
Do we have to hide our female side for fear of being considered weak?
The discrimination in the media against women and women's magazines is significant and unforgivable.
For the first time, it feels like we have something close to visibility on what American women have really faced in the workplace.
I am a feminist who became a publicist because I was told that being a sports writer was not a ladylike job.
On what terms shall we join the procession?
And a procession it was, of talent, grit, and bold-faced commitment.
All media, but especially publishing, have benefited from the rise of women in their midst.
A daring against the odds, and occasionally a willingness to be quite unpopular.
Journalism is under attack. Civility is under attack. Truth is under attack. We can fix that.
We soldier on, doing more with less, telling the untold stories, and filling the gaps in our national understanding.
And she does it all with clarity, candor, style, finesse.
Truth has been the soul of the story.
She was always trying to get to the truth of something that mattered.
And New York Women in Communications continues to honor the women who uphold these values.
I'm grateful for the way you've changed how we talk about gender and race and ethnicity and social justice and human rights.
Thankfully, I figured out what a feminist is. I found out I was a feminist when my records came out.
A movement as rich as feminism deserves diverse faces and diverse voices.
Diversity matters in all things.
The first 2 principles of Black Lives Matter are lead with love and low ego, high impact. But I think that the most important is the third, move with the speed of trust.
She's passionate, as I am, about helping women lead better lives.
So if there's one thing I've learned, it's that if you can dream it, you can do it.
To be unapologetically Black and unapologetically a female.
I am me. I am like nobody else.
As champions of change, we set the stage for equality and share the dream to create a better world.
It always inspires me when young people come up to me and say I'm a role model.
A world where more women, more countries, and more companies were run by women would be a better world.
To find something you love to do and pursue it.
We never stop pursuing the truth, no matter how uncomfortable.
Learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Life will always come at you in ways you cannot control.
Thanks to the triumphs of women who led the way, a new chapter of equality will soon be told.
The question that was put to me was, when do you think there will be enough women on the court? And I said, when there are 9. And those who fail to learn the lessons of history are condemned to repeat them.
I am so pleased to be with you today to salute 50 years of the New York Women in Communications Matrix Awards. Over the decades, these awards have recognized outstanding women, as they do today, who were leaders in their professions, breaking barriers and creating a path for others. Originally, women like Gloria Steinem, who helped found New York Magazine and co-founded Ms. Magazine, the National Women's Political Caucus, and Take Our Daughters to Work Day. Toni Morrison, Pulitzer Prize-winning author and the first African-American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Meryl Streep, the First Lady of Stage and Screen, winner of 177 awards, including Golden Globes and Oscars and many more. Nora Ephron, author, playwright, screenwriter, and film director, who made us all feel better about our necks. As someone who remembers all too well just how hard it was to get that first job in an all-news radio station back in Philadelphia in the 60s when I got out of school more than 50 years ago, until I got hired as a copy boy, I can surely appreciate all that Matrix has meant to us, as well as to the younger generations of women now achieving new heights in their careers. Yes, we've come a long way since those days when companies would hire one woman and say, well, one was enough. Now women are leading the way in all of our organizations, in print and on television, on the air and behind the cameras, in advertising, sales and promotion, and the executive suites. So thank you to Matrix for shining a light on today's women in communication all-stars and creating a path for all those still to come. 50 years is a great start, but we're only just beginning to hit our stride.
This is one of those days where I just feel very proud to be a girl. Look at what we've done. Go us. It's a good look back at the last 50 years. Since 1971, over 340 women have been awarded Matrix Awards, and we are thrilled to honor another class today. First, though, a few words from a really good man. His name is Michael Roth. He is the chairman and CEO of IPG. That's our host sponsor for today's award show. Michael?
It's an honor for me to be here today to host the Matrix Awards for a sixth time. Of course, I wish we were all here in person. This luncheon is a highlight of the year, not just for me, but for the entire communications industry, especially here in New York, where the luncheon is normally held, and a moment in time when New York, and frankly all of us, need moments to celebrate. This is certainly one. So why does IPG keep coming back to be part of Matrix? Simply put, IPG has more than 24,000 women at our digital, our PR, events, advertising, and media companies across the globe. We understand the value of women in communications at successful companies. We have a long-standing commitment to diversity and inclusion and understand the vital importance of equity for our communities. We want to be a company where remarkable women like today's Matrix honorees, scholarship winners, and attendees will want to join our IPG community, build a career, and thrive. We want to support the next generation of women coming into our industry. Your support helps cultivate future leaders in our business, thanks to the Matrix Scholarship Program. I'd also like to call out this year's event program, which was designed by our digital agency, MRM, here in New York. The design reflects the pivotal moment we're living in right now, when women around the world are uniting and activating under a shared cause to create lasting change. It feels like we're at an inflection point right now in our country when it comes to inclusion and equity for all people, especially Black and brown men and women, who have shouldered a disproportionate share of many issues surrounding the double pandemic of COVID-19 and systemic racism. I know diversity and inclusion starts at the top, and as leaders, it is essential to use our position as a platform to build solutions to change the broader environment. All of you in this virtual room are leaders. You can make change happen for the better, and when leaders aren't doing their part, they need to be changed. This year, honorees exemplify what it means to be leaders in action. Each has helped shape the media industry into what it is today and surfaced important issues that must be continued to be addressed. We all know there's more work to be done. The issues are complicated, but we must not let that stop us. This event always inspires me and our company to do better and encourages us to take action when we see behavior that needs to be corrected. More important, I want to congratulate each of the extraordinary honorees and the scholarship recipients for their inspiration, and leadership. For all of us at IPG, it's an honor to be in your company. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We really like a good sponsor. We appreciate what you're doing for us today. So since we can't be in person this afternoon, we'd love to know where you're watching from. So we'd like you to do this. Send a selfie, we all know how to do that, or share your favorite moments from the show by tagging at NYWCI and using the hashtag Matrix2020 and hashtag Matrix50. Now, without further ado, let's get this party started. Kicking off the show with our very first Matrix Award honoree. Here she is.
Barri didn't just lead Tchen, she transformed it. Her incredible legacy at our firm includes an expanded family-first paid leave policy and pay equity at all levels. When you're with Barri, you feel invincible.
Barri serves on our national board here at Step Up. In this role, she ensured our organization could increase its reach to girls of color throughout the country, offering mentorship and support as they become confident, college-bound, career-focused, and ready to join the next generation of women leaders. Barri continues to lead Step Up by opening doors to opportunities, helping us navigate new waters strategically, and always providing sound counsel.
I met Barri when she taught at NYU, and she shared advice on everything from parenting to winning business.
I met Barri 12 years ago when I first started at Tchen, and she instantly became a huge mentor who helped guide my growth at the agency.
She turned her experience feeling like an other at the World Economic Forum into a commitment to inspire and help lift up other women at Omnicom.
Congratulations, Barri, on winning the Matrix Award. We are thrilled for you. We're also thrilled that you joined Wells Fargo and you're making us a better company.
Hello, I'm Dawn Robertson, and I'm honored to present to Barri Rafferty the Matrix 2020 Award. In addition to seeing her work her incredible skills as a mother of two intellectually successful and balanced young adults, wife of over 31 years, close sister relationships, loving daughter, teacher of many, and my friend, I have seen her work her exceptional communication and problem-solving skills in my business and personal life. Whether she's teaching a college class or giving a commencement speech, her priority of identifying and developing women is unfailing. A great example was her TED Talk about developing a minor in life. For Barri, it's clear: uplifting and building the next generation of professional women. That's meant promoting and mentoring hundreds of women, and of course men, throughout her 25 years at Tchen. I am proud to present to Barri Rafferty the 2020 Matrix Award.
Thank you, Dawn, friends, and colleagues. As you have described, I have been committed to a career of leading with my head, heart, and feet, to mentoring people of all ages, and to lifting others up as I rose through the ranks to become the first woman to run a top 5 PR firm. Whatever personal and professional success I've achieved came when I embraced the totality of who I am: a mother, a sister, a wife, and a friend, as well as a committed executive. Recognizing that success, I encourage those who work for me to bring their real, complete selves to the office each day, and I considered it my responsibility to clear the obstacles out of the way for the next generation of female leaders. While working tirelessly to modernize the firm as CEO, the world changed this past spring, and suddenly I found myself working harder than ever, shifting the agency to work from home. It was at home, however, that I was approached to lead communications at Wells Fargo. Yet despite being personally excited by this challenge, I realized just how much of myself was wrapped up in the corporate persona I developed over my career at Tchen. In fact, the deep emotional response I was having about leaving and forging a new path was guilt. Some of my mentors and confidants focused on the risk of leaving a safe CEO position, but it was my friends and family who reassured me of my solid track record in making career decisions. But once the decision was made to commit to Wells Fargo, suddenly, instead of concern, I was being told how courageous it was to leave such a high-profile position, and that, quote, Women at your age are not often given these types of opportunities. I hope to normalize career second acts, just like it is for men, to show women that you are marketable at any age, can lead in a new industry, and continue to break through in male-dominated fields. Nobody sets out to become a role model, but like all of the Matrix winners today and in the past, there is still a need to push boundaries. New trails don't come with easy markers to follow, yet each step you take makes the next one easier. I wish for all of you the opportunity to tackle challenges that force you to advocate for yourself, that defy you to get past your guilt, that require you to continue to learn, and might even create moments of discomfort. No matter what your age, you should never feel the need to play it safe. Remember, there are many trails left to be blazed. Thank you to everyone at Matrix.
Hello, my name is Taffy Lashley, and I'm the recipient of the NYWCI Alumni Scholarship. And NYWCI means the world to me. It changed my life 2 years ago when I won it in 2018. And since then, I've been mentored, I've been to several meetings and connected with so many amazing women. And this organization does phenomenal things for women like myself, other students of color, and just people who want to make a change and have their voice be heard in the communications industry. And you can continue to support New York Women in Communications by texting to pledge the number on your screen, and continue to sponsor the dreams of so many incredible other women out there with dreams as big as the world, bigger than the world, and to continue the tradition of Matrix that's been going on for 50 years. Happy 50, Matrix!
We're here today to honor Anne, who's a 2020 Matrix Award honoree. Anne and I have known each other for a very long time and across all aspects of our lives, both personally and professionally. She's helped build 2 leading technology brands, Intel and Adobe. She's a digital pioneer who helped shape for so many of us how we can reimagine how we connect with our consumers and reimagine how we build our brands. And I've seen Anne's passion to make a difference as a community leader. She makes time for others, whether it's championing women-led films or fighting against bullying. I will never forget our time together at the Ad Council, her willingness to be vulnerable and talk about her personal experiences as a mother of a son who was bullied. And it's from these real human experiences that Anne has always found the drive to speak out and create change for those less fortunate. So in summary, Anne is an amazing woman and amazing human being. And I'm just thrilled that she's being recognized with this Matrix Award. So Anne, let's have a conversation so everyone can get to know you a little bit more. You've had an amazing career. What's the one piece of advice that has influenced you the most?
Early on in my career, I had a boss at Intel. It was my first job. And he said, you can't go to the mat for everything. And that's something that I continually have to think every single day. I think it's important to always check yourself and know that you can't go to the mat for everything. Prioritization and just mental check-ins are something that I continue to do today. But I think the most important advice that I can give to anyone is really focus on results, because in the end, that's what matters.
What's the biggest challenge you've faced along the way, and how did you overcome it?
When it became clear that it was time for me to try something new, I immediately wanted to go to Adobe because it was a company that really had a mission that, really resonated with me. But I had no idea how challenging it would be to go somewhere where I knew no one, had no network, and had to try and establish kind of a new vision for marketing and get people on board. And that took a while, and it was hard because I had, 20 years of experience at a company. I knew how everything worked. I knew all the people, and to start all over again was challenging, but, obviously it worked out.
As we think about what's going on around all of us right now, 2020 has been an incredible moment of change in our lives and our work. Can you share a little bit about what's been the biggest change for you this year?
The fact that we've made it through, I think, is extraordinary, and the resilience that you see and the compassion that I have seen, I think that's what has driven me. You have to just push through. And what I would say is I think compassion and the need to support one another has never been more important, and you will not get things done unless you have that.
You're someone who always creates energy and positivity with those around you. What are you most hopeful in regards to the future?
What excites me the most is being able to support young creators, female creators, and creators from underserved or underrepresented minorities. And that's something that I can do, fortunately, both professionally and personally. At Adobe, we have programs where we help youth and underserved communities get access to creative tools and mentorship. We are helping at Sundance to nurture female directors who are very underrepresented in the film industry. And then personally, I try to support female filmmakers through some investment, but also counsel. And that, I think, is probably one of the things that gets me most excited, that I can be able to bridge that personally and professionally.
Well, Anne, I think you're modest. You've made such a difference in so many people's lives. And as we think about all the people that are, probably listening to this today, we've always exchanged a lot of candid advice with each other about what's worked, what we learned, and what we might do different. What's the one piece of advice that you would have given to your 20-something self?
When I was at Intel growing a company, it was so exciting. I think I probably didn't take enough time for me. And I think as I get older, I continue to work as hard, but I know that friendships, family, all of those things have taken on even greater meaning as I have gotten older. And I think it's important, even when you're young, to make time for those important things.
Such a good reminder. Well, this is a pretty big moment. How does it feel to be honored with a Matrix Award?
I feel very proud of what I've accomplished, what my company has accomplished, and I feel really very grateful to be able to have, succeeded there and had an organization that succeeded. So thank you. I mean, it's really a big honor.
Everyone, I'm Jackie Kelly. I'm the CEO for Dentsu in the Americas and a longtime member, proud member of New York Women in Communications. So delighted to be with you today and take your questions. And I will introduce my partner in crime, Renetta. Over to you, Renetta.
Hi, I'm Renetta McCann, and I am the Chief Inclusion Experience Officer at Publicis Group. And I have the honor of having been a Matrix Award winner in 2006, and I proudly serve on the selection committee for some recent winners. And I'm delighted to be here with you today.
Well, welcome everyone, and congratulations to our 2020 scholarship winners. It is such an honor to win a scholarship, and we are so proud of everything you've done to earn that honor. So welcome, and we are here to answer your questions.
My name is Taffy Lashley, and I'm the recipient of the New York Women in Communications Alumni Award Scholarship. And my question to you is, what advice would you give your 20-year-old selves?
Oh, I love that question. Early on in my career, I thought of my career as more of a ladder, vertically moving up in my career. And I think what I learned later was the experiences, if you zig and zag, is far more valuable. There's been many quotes that reminding us that your career is a jungle gym, not a ladder. And I think that's a really good way to think about it. And I would have been more cognizant of that when I was entering.
So much of our careers, especially if you have aspirations to reach to the top, really push you to have expertise, to be the expert, to know the most about that topic. And what I would have reminded my 20-year-old self is that there is a companion role for learning. I think it's balancing the need for expertise and learning at the same time.
We put that pressure on ourselves to know everything. And sometimes just knowing the right question is actually more powerful.
I'm Gabriella. I'm the Interpublic Group Scholarship winner. And the question is, what role does diversity play in driving successful outcomes in teams? And how do you make that an intentional part of your work?
The world we're in right now, it's abundantly clear that diversity, equity, and inclusion are critical components of the business overall. There's an incredibly high overlap between high-performing teams and highly diverse teams. Diversity, equity, and inclusion has to be built in at all stages, right? So it's growth, it's strategy, it's who we are bringing on as team members, it's how the team operates, it's how we form new ideas. It's just a comprehensive part of everything that we're doing. Thank you for your question.
Okay, guys, so now it's our chance to learn from you. I would love just to go around. I'd love to hear from each of you why the communications industry, why advertising and marketing is what's gotten you excited about your career.
I've always loved telling stories. I've always loved writing, and I've always wanted to see more like representation of people who look like me, who might have the same lives. So I've always wanted to try to tell the most authentic stories and give those people a voice or help them find voices within the work that I create.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Great.
That's terrific.
Yeah. Godlise, how about you?
I wasn't the most like artsy creative person, that I really much rather preferred like the research analytical side of marketing. So from there, I kind of based my early career on kind of learning and discovering more roles that kind of have to do with that.
Well, you are right in the sweet spot of where a lot of the energy is in the industry. So that's great.
Mine is just really like my love for sports and the atmosphere that you get in a baseball stadium or a football stadium, and just like how sports makes like the public feel.
For me, I've always been a very creative and artistic person. I'm able to do what I love and also do what I love. So it was kind of a great combination.
Writing and stewardship of the environment were very important values. And I decided to combine these two passions and delve into environmental journalism. And today, more than ever, I feel like it's important to use communications to show the climate crisis as a social justice crisis. And that's a lot of my motivation for joining this field.
Communications is everywhere, and there's so many different facets to learn about. And I think in the advertising marketing vein of communications, it has the ability to really impact and influence what people think. So how can we use that tool for the most positive good that we can?
I mean, there is so much research showing that brands can actually make a bigger influence on how people think and feel about an issue than, you know, governments and other structures. So you're right about that. Well, you guys are incredible. You're entering this industry with such optimism. You're experiencing such goodness in it, and you know that you'll be able to pay that forward. And it's a really important aspect of New York Women in Communications, certainly, is to, we like to say we keep it real here. So it is really a place where you can get, you know, hopefully great feedback, great advice, but you can also contribute, and you'll continue to do that, I have no doubt. So thank you for joining us today. And again, huge congratulations on your scholarship. And I can't wait to see what all of you do in this industry.
Same here. Congratulations, and stay in touch.
Were you taking notes? Because that was really great advice. Thank you. It's so exciting to see a young generation of female communicators who are already so thoughtful about their careers and how they will impact the world. NYWCI has awarded $1.9 million in scholarships since 1998 to the next generation of women leaders. And if you're enjoying this program so far, and we hope you are, know that this isn't the only event that NYWCI hosts. It has a whole lineup of bold thought leadership and diverse programming designed to educate, empower, and propel women forward professionally and personally at every stage of their communications careers. How do you find out? You can check it out at the NYWCI website for information on other upcoming events. The next event we think is one you don't want to miss. Why? Because it features two amazing women, not one, but two amazing women. You'll see in today's programming in partnership with Communications Week. Join Judith Harrison for a fireside chat with NBC's Linda Yaccarino. That's on Tuesday, October 20th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. as they discuss the key role diversity, equity, and inclusion play in accelerating our industry's transformation. Both our scholarship program and events like these would not be possible without who? The sponsors. Our host sponsor today, you just saw Michael Roth, is IPG. NYWCI is also supported by NBC, go NBC, Adobe, Citi, Disney, love all things Disney, Meredith Corporation, and Carol H. Williams Advertising. Thank you, Carol. And CBS News. You know I love all things CBS. In fact, I'm coming to you from the CBS studio right now. I can't tell you how glad I am to be back at the table. For months, we were broadcasting, everybody, like you two, broadcasting from our homes. And as you know, everybody got some decorating ideas. So thank you for that. I'm glad to be back in the studio. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. You can be part of the support, as well as by making a pledge to NYWCI. How do you do that? Text the amount you'd like to donate to. This is a number. I'm going to say it twice. Get a pencil. Here you go. 347-970-8313. One more time. 347-970-8313. Then all you have to do is follow the directions sent to your phone. Now let's meet another one of our amazing Matrix Award honorees. Here she is.
Hello, my name is Antonio Lucio, and I am proud to be here to introduce my very good and dear friend, Carla Hassan. I've known Carla for 20 years. She embodies what a true global CMO is, not because of what she's read or the countries that she's visited, but because of what she has lived. Carla is a great marketer. Carla is a great business person, but more importantly, is a great human being. I've learned from her many, 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 many things throughout the years, and I am very proud that she is being recognized with this award. Over the next couple of minutes, you're going to see videos from people near and dear to her life that are going to be sharing what Carla represents to them. For me, Carla represents empathy, what it is to lead with empathy, passion, and drive. Carla, I am proud to be your friend.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, Matrix Awards. I'm Noor, Carla's daughter.
And I'm Tarek. By day, I'm the CMO of Petco, but my real job is Noor's dad and Carla's husband.
My name's Morgan Flatley. I am the US CMO of McDonald's. I am very lucky to call Carla one of my very dear friends.
Hello, I'm Tiffany R. Warren, Senior VP Chief Diversity Officer for Omnicom Group, and I am honored to participate in speaking of my great friend Carla Hassan.
My name is Kenny Mitchell, and I've had the distinct honor of knowing and working with Carla Hassan for well over a decade, since our days at PepsiCo.
I'm Ross Martin, President of Known, coming at you live from the People's Republic of Brooklyn, New York. Carla joins a mind-blowing list of women who've achieved greatness in their fields and done so with grace, with dignity, and with humanity. Carla Hassan is all of that and so much more.
What do you think people should know about your mom?
Well, people should know that she is a very good TikToker. That's one thing. People should also know that she's very hardworking and compassionate about everything that she does.
Carla taught me so much about leadership, about how to be a real, caring, authentic, empathetic leader. All lessons that I've taken with me throughout my career.
Carla is an absolute force of nature. She's been a phenomenal leader and a model to me and so many others of what it's like to be your authentic self and lead with your heart.
Not only is she an inspiring leader who drives innovation and business impact everywhere she goes, but she is mentoring a legion of women who will one day win this very award. And she's just getting started.
Anyone who knows Carla knows the impact that she has about the people around her. But what's pretty special about her is just how uniquely both empathetic and encouraging and ability to bring out the best in people. It's a pretty rare thing.
Carla has brought me into so many rooms and spoken of me in rooms that I could not be in. Carla has changed my life because she's confirmed and reaffirmed that those of us who rise up and go into rooms where others may not be in have the opportunity and the privilege to speak up for those that are not there. And so, Carla, congratulations on your Matrix Award. It's well deserved, and I love you so much.
I just feel so lucky to call you, Carla, one of my dear friends. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. I wish you nothing but the best and success, all of which I know you will have. I love you so much, my dear. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Amazing. You're a legend, the GOAT, winning the same damn award as Maya Angelou. I'm incredibly proud of you and can't wait to see you again.
Carla, you're a beacon of light and hope. You are the person who makes people like me want to be a better human, and you deserve this. Congratulations, Carla.
We couldn't be more proud of you than we are.
We're so proud of you, Mom.
But not only Carla, all these amazing women. You're just a great testament to strength, fortitude, and incredible leadership. Congratulations to all of you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Carla.
Thank you, Antonio. You are the chairman of my personal board of directors, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that introduction. Thank you to my family and friends for those kind words. I'm truly humbled that you took the time out of your schedules to do this for me. I could not be more grateful that you are in my life. And finally, a huge thank you to New York Women in Communications for this award. It is a privilege to be honored among these incredible women this year and over the last 50 years. I'm still pinching myself. Growing up, my family left 2 countries to escape war before we landed in Colorado. So my experience as an immigrant really shapes who I am. It has taught me how powerful and also how important it is to see and value others for who they are. I talk to my daughter Noor all the time about authenticity and bringing empathy to every interaction, no matter who you're with. I hope that Noor and all young girls know the incredible power that comes from being true to themselves and understanding the place others are coming from. My parents always taught me that your brand is who you are when no one else is watching. It's because of them I'm the person and the leader I am today. So I don't believe that I can leave different parts of who I am behind, close the door, walk into work, and decide that I'm somebody totally different. Nor do I think anybody else should have to. This is one of the things that drew me to Citi, a company that has allowed me to be authentically who I am, whose values and purpose are so closely aligned with my own, and a company that has a history for pushing change. I'm proud of the work that we're doing to tackle issues and pursue causes that drive progress. I am deeply passionate about doing my part to create a better future for my daughter and future generations through my work as CMO of Citi and how I live my life. Thank you again.
Hey, it's Drashti, and I'm currently in my room-turned classroom for the semester in Queens, New York. My advice to future NYWCI scholarship applicants and winners is to trust yourself and follow your intuition. There is a world of stereotypes and pressure out there that are going to try to deter you from following your dreams. But honestly, no one knows you as well as you, so stay true to yourself. To support the next cohort of scholarship winners, text the amount you'd like to pledge to the number on the screen and follow the instructions on your phone from there. Every little bit helps. Thank you.
Here's the thing about Linda Yaccarino. You may not see her behind the desk at Today
or in front of the camera on MSNBC, but you definitely know her work.
Because if there's one person at NBCUniversal who makes every story, every segment, every show possible, well, that is Linda.
We call her Yak because we like that. A lot of other people look at her accomplishments simply by the numbers.
The thousands of partnerships, the tens of billions of dollars, the platform that reaches hundreds of millions of viewers.
But here's what it means to all of us.
Linda, your transformative leadership and innovative thinking are the reason we're able to reach so many people around the world.
You play a pivotal role in elevating the voices of so many strong women across NBCUniversal. Women like me.
Like me.
Like me.
Like me.
Like me.
Me.
Like me.
Women like us.
Yeah, whether it's on our news programs or during the Olympics, in advertising, or for people across our company.
So here's the real number that defines your career. 1.
When you brought all the company's networks together as one portfolio, you made us all part of one team, one family, and that set a new industry standard.
When you were out there fighting for one unified measurement, you were championing our value.
And now you're challenging every other company to recognize that we share one future and that we can build it with equity, transparency, and shared responsibility.
Linda, you have spent your entire career bringing people and organizations together to partner, to innovate, to transform.
And if you've ever been lucky enough to work with her, you know there's only one Linda.
There was literally no one like her.
She's a singular leader with a style all her own. In short, she's my inspiration.
She's my woman warrior, my hero.
Somebody I consider an advocate and a mentor.
One of my girl crushes.
She's our badass.
And she's my woman to look up to.
Just understand this about Linda. Linda Yaccarino always finds a way to win. And her favorite way to do so? By lifting and celebrating those around her.
It's our honor to present the 2020 Matrix Award to NBCUniversal's Chairman of Advertising and Partnerships, Linda Yaccarino.
Congratulations, Linda.
Congratulations, Linda.
Congratulations, Linda.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Linda.
From all of us, congratulations, Linda. And to all of this year's honorees, you guys are awesome.
How can you follow something like that? I'm here in Studio 1A, and honestly, I'm in complete awe. Every day in studios just like this one, those women, the strongest women in news by a mile, bring millions and millions of people the information that they need. They're heroes in representing women in communications. It's the career opportunity of a lifetime to work in this role where I get to champion the work that they do every single day. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. All of you are my reason for working so hard. You know, it's one thing to be here today. It's another thing to be in this class with Susan, Barri, Carla, Tina, Carol, and Ann. Congratulations to all of you. You know, I can barely believe we are joining the ranks of so many iconic women who have received this award over the past 50 years. So a gigantic thank you to the New York Women in Communications. When I think about media right now, we have the responsibility of telling people's stories. And we live in a world where it's really easy to reduce people to just one thing, especially in business. I can remember very clearly all the meetings that I've been in when I was the only woman in the room. That's how a lot of people saw me, and I'm sure that's all they saw. But if I've learned anything, no woman, or person for that matter, is one-dimensional. And nobody's success in life is the result of just one person. As someone who's built her entire career nurturing partnerships, it would be absolutely absurd for me to think that I got here all on my own. The only reason I am who I am is because of others, especially other women. They are a huge part of my story, and that starts with my family. You know, I grew up in a working-class Italian family. It certainly wasn't a life of luxury, but we didn't know it and we didn't miss it. Instead, my parents wrapped us up in a blanket of unconditional love and support. That love is shared by my sisters and has grown even stronger with my husband, Claudio, and my 2 children. And if I just think about the women in my family, I realize how much they have given my life meaning and dimension. First and foremost, my mom, Isabel. Flat out, she's my personal Kris Jenner. But more than that, she's my value system. She's my moral compass. My sister Kate, more than a sister, she's my toughest, most trusted voice. My, yes, identical, twin sister Lori is my original better half. She's my perspective and my true grounding. And my daughter Christian, who I instinctively want to protect, is now working as a nurse, protecting others. She's become my inspiration, and she's my faith in the future. These women make me who I am. They hold me up, especially when times are hard, and right now they're probably the ones cheering the loudest. Family is really a powerful force, and I'm incredibly blessed because I get to have 2, my family at home and my family at work. They're all right here with me today, virtually holding my hand, as they've done so many times before. And after a couple of decades in this business, I've got a long list of people I could thank. It's people like Shelly Zalis, my soul sister, Lisa Sherman, my do-good for the world partner, Bonnie Hammer, my true and ultimate trailblazer, Amy Elkins, she's my spiritual recharge, and Julie Rieger, my absolute proof that opposites really do attract. And of course, my entire team. They're the ones on this journey with me, helping lead our company into the future. They're my home away from home. We all have lists of people who have helped us along the way. And that's why today is a celebration of that larger matrix of women who make each one of us better. The beauty is that we're all influenced by so many different people. And we all have many different ways that we can be a part of each other's stories. And we should celebrate that because we all know we wouldn't be here without each other. Yesterday, we started #She'sMy to recognize these women. So I encourage everyone to make your list of all the amazing women in your life. And let's tell the world who she is to you. That daughter who became your motivation, the friend who became your family, and the mother who always helped you do the right thing and gets on Zoom an hour early just to make sure she sees your speech. I'm looking at you, Mom. And here's my hope that when I look back on my career and my life, I will know that I've done right if there are women and men who put me on their list and say, Linda, she's my champion.
Hi, everyone. For 50 years, New York Women in Communications has been celebrating the achievement of extraordinary women in our industry with the annual Matrix Awards, including many leaders across our company. I'm so pleased that among this year's inductees is one of our own, a leader who has surely earned her place among this year's list of remarkable women, NBCUniversal's Chairman of Advertising and Partnerships, Linda Yaccarino. Television is a $70 billion industry, and it's just as relevant and powerful in today's changing world as it's ever been. And no individual has done more to transform its economic infrastructure than Linda. A trailblazer who has never met an obstacle she couldn't overcome, Linda pioneered what has become the industry gold standard in going to market with one unified portfolio, and then in measuring the results with the first all-screen measurement solution. A visionary pioneer, Peacock was her brainchild, and she was instrumental in the development of its business model from the very start. She is smart, she's energetic, she's fun, and she's a pleasure to work with and be around. So congratulations to my colleague and friend Linda, and to all her fellow honorees in the 2020 class of Matrix Award winners. Thank you very much.
Another great addition to the class. We're going to take a moment now to shine a light on the amazing organization presenting these Matrix Awards. Let's hear from the leadership of NYWCI as we celebrate where the organization has been and now where it's going, because we are going places. Please welcome NYWCI President, Ms. Ashley Miles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the annual Matrix Awards. My name is Ashley Miles, President of New York Women in Communications and founder and CEO of Franklin West, a business growth collective committed to transformation and sustainable growth for businesses and leaders. New York Women in Communications was founded in 1929 during the stock market crash by a group of pioneering women working in the field of communications in New York. These amazing women banded together to establish NYWCI with the goal of obtaining equal pay to their male counterparts. Now, 91 years later, NYWCI is the premier organization empowering women in the communications field at every career stage to reach their full potential and navigate the ever-changing landscape of communications. We promote professional growth and inspire members to achieve and share success by actively encouraging leadership and professional development, as well as networking opportunity that connect women who are shaping the world around us. Our 2021 vision is to dramatically increase our thought leadership programming with bold, diverse, community-led content that propels women forward and addresses her specific areas of opportunity and growth. There's never been a more important time to help women dream without bounds, take action, and create growth over a lifetime journey. It is now my honor to introduce Judith Harrison, former president of New York Women in Communications and Senior Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion at Weber Shandwick. Judith has been an outstanding leader to NYWCI for the past 2 years, and we are so grateful for her passion, her contributions, and support over the years. Now, over to Judith.
Thanks so much, Ashley, for that kind introduction. Thank you to the board and the more than 2,500 remarkable members of New York Women in Communications. Representing different generations, interests, backgrounds, and aspirations, they embody the organization's 91-year history of bringing the most motivated women in the business together to learn from, inspire, and connect with one another. Serving 2 terms as president of this extraordinary organization has been an honor, a joy, and a privilege. Over the last 91 years, the members of New York Women in Communications have led the way in breaking down barriers for other women and supporting the next generation of female leaders. Over the last 50 years, we have recognized the brightest stars of all forms of communications with the Matrix Award, starting with Gloria Steinem in 1971. The Matrix Awards is our moment to honor the industry's most outstanding leaders. We celebrate their accomplishments, their courage to break boundaries, and their commitment to reaching back to lift up others. They are beacons of light for young women who would follow in their footsteps. It's important to take this opportunity not only to celebrate the accomplishments of our industry's leaders, past and present, and the potential of our brilliant scholarship winners. This extraordinary moment of social unrest and long overdue recognition that the playing field is far from level requires that we shine a light on ourselves as individuals and collectively. Although we have made remarkable strides in advancing women to the top echelons of our business, we have lagged far behind in making our population racially and ethnically representative of the communities we serve. How can we tell stories that engage, represent, and resonate with people who are absent from our ranks? And why would we deprive ourselves of the innovation, market share, and increased profit margins that come from diverse and inclusive teams? We know that equal opportunity, equal representation, and equal pay have the power to change the way we live and the future we envision for ourselves. We know that if we can see it, we can be it. The lack of diverse voices in communications may have been created unconsciously, but we have to be fiercely intentional to change it. New York Women in Communications is proud to model this much-needed transformation with a board that is 40% diverse and an unshakable determination to elevate the voices of Black women and other women of color who have been unheard in this business for far too long. Our great organization is all about opening doors for women of all backgrounds in every communications discipline at every career stage. This is our job and the job of every person in this industry. Together, we can make it happen. Together, we can change the world.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm one of the recipients of the Hearst Media Corporation Scholarship, and I'm currently in Ithaca, New York.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gordon, and I am the winner of the Judy Corman Memorial Scholarship, and I'm currently in Manhattan, New York.
Hi, I'm Deja. I'm one of the recipients of the Carlozzi Family Scholarship, and I'm currently in Manhattan as well.
Hi, I'm Drashti. I am one of the recipients of the Interpublic Group Scholarship, and I'm currently in Queens, New York.
As we all know, there's like a lot going on. What's some great advice that you've gotten recently just to help you kind of navigate this time?
Do the things that help reset you and keep you looking forward to the next thing and not focused on just checking all the boxes.
You should be able to leave a Zoom class and think back, what did I gain from this today? What was of value? Did I learn something today?
Be unprecedented everywhere. Like, we're in these unprecedented times, so like care for yourself unprecedentedly. So far, no dull moments. We can say that at least.
How has New York Women in Communications been supportive of all of you guys since receiving the scholarship, and what has your involvement looked like?
I feel like NYWCI has been really good with putting on so many great like virtual events, you know, even furthering your career even during the midst of the pandemic. So I feel like they've been doing a really great job with that.
I love their social media approach to everything. They're really utilizing it to bring some sense of normalcy into this funky situation we're in. Even though I haven't met any of you in person, with the Scholarship Winter Wednesdays that they've been doing, it just feels like I know all of you already.
When we were finding out about this scholarship, it was kind of in like the earlier days of quarantine, and it was such a just drop of sunshine in the midst of all of that.
They're working so hard to make a sense of community now, and that community is going to last down the road when we can be together in person. It's such a good feeling knowing that we're able to still move forward, even though we're not physically together, and still make connections and get to know each other.
All right, folks, Roland Martin here, Roland Martin Unfiltered, with the 2020 Matrix Award honoree, Carol H. Williams. Carol, you got to be excited getting this big award.
I absolutely am. It's incredible.
So let's talk about your career in advertising. Was this something you actually wanted to do, or did you stumble into it, or was this always your plan?
I hate to say I stumbled into it, but I think the universe, fate, led me to it. It was what I loved and wanted to do, really, was be involved with people. I have always loved them. I have always loved communicating with them. And I really think that I started out to be a medical student, a medical doctor.
Wow, that's a big difference. Medical doctor, advertising Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that people always want to know, they always want to know, give me a wow moment. A moment in your career, something happened where even you said, damn, wow, that was hot.
I think the first wow moment I had in my career, and it was nobody wanted to work on it. It was a nothing product. And I wrote Strong Enough for a Man, but Made for a Woman campaign. Women weren't these weak little creatures. They were strong, and they needed efficacy. They needed strength. 6 months later, Charlie Blakemore walked in my office and said, Secret just took over #1 in the market. Congratulations. Wow.
Now that's a wild moment.
That's a wild moment.
That's a wild moment.
And that thing stayed on the air next 30-some years. So thus was born, strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
A lot of people would have been afraid. A lot of people would have just written that success, stayed with agencies, but you chose to launch your own. What caused you to strike out to create your own agency?
I don't know that I felt that it was time for me to be the boss as much as it was time for me to find out who I am, who I was at that time. I always had a fascination and loved teachers and loved learning and was in the pursuit of excellence. So the opportunity for me to mentor people who I chose to succeed, that I felt had great talent, that I felt that I could inspire and infuse and grow. And that's when I realized that it was time to go.
Look, the world changes, times change, and when you're in the advertising industry, you have to, frankly, be seeing down the road. Here we are in 2020. Coronavirus has been impacting so many people. The ad industry has changed. Digital now is a whole thing. People are putting money in digital as opposed to television and radio. And so, how have you led your team to weather the shifts not only in the country but also within the industry?
In this business, we compete for attention in a world of ever-expanding choices and distractions. You really win with empathy because the world is always going to change on you. The world is changing very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this right here, what is that old? It's the best of times?
The worst of times.
The times. It always is. It just depends on your perspective. And the power of that perspective is what delivers you. Right now, this is about your possibility. Your being realized as a possibility. To stop making excuses. To stop crying about your pains and your agony. Is to go through that door and take your power and do what it is that you need to do to impact the world, to make a difference. And doing nothing does exactly that, nothing.
And that's why you're a 2020 NYWCI Matrix Award winner. Certainly, congratulations. And again, Auntie Carol, unbought and unbossed.
Thank you so much. Love you, Roland.
Love you, darling.
How do you make sense of an election as unprecedented as this? We have two words: true journalism.
This is our time.
At CBS News, we believe true journalism is honest and fair and always shines a light on the truth. True journalism listens to all voices and leaves the decisions to you.
I am really, really thrilled to tee up our next Matrix honoree. Her name is Susan Zirinsky. I kind of say that in capital letters and exclamation points because that's who she is. She's a colleague of mine, also known as the boss around here. She's done and continues to do absolutely amazing work here at CBS News. Here's just a very, very, very small snippet of all that Susan Zirinsky has accomplished. Roll tape, please.
What makes you so tough? Fear, I think, is my explanation.
Would you want Bush and Clinton up at the same time?
I remember so many White House trips with her enormous binders telling us where to go and how to get there. To this day, no one can tell you where to go and how to get there like Z.
Times are changing.
Director James Brooks wanted to see Z in action, wanted inspiration for the main character of broadcast news.
I would come onto my set, and she was totally in control of it.
You don't want to ever be as exaggerated as you were.
Holly Hunter had studied Z's every move.
Let's do it, or I'll fry your fat ass at still. Goodbye.
I would like to thank in particular Susan Zirinsky.
A thin line, the whole truth, the far right, the left view.
Hi, we're from 48 Hours. We'd like to do a piece on you. If you killed your husband, say no!
We shed light and we change lives.
Blow the whistle, change the world.
This is an historic moment. You are the first woman president of CBS News.
It is an honor, and it is humbling, and yes, daunting to be taking on this new role. I fought to get where I am, and I fight like a dog to stay in the game, no matter what I fear.
I'm Leslie Stahl, and I'm delighted to be here to say a few words about my friend and boss, Susan Zirinsky. Most people call her Z, but I call her Susan because that was her name when she first walked into the CBS Washington Bureau in 1972 and became our Watergate researcher, and she was still in college. She's been at CBS ever since. First and foremost, she's a journalist. She was the White House producer for CBS during the Carter and Reagan years, when she showed off her organizational skills. You should have seen the Bibles she wrote for our POTUS trips. She set up newsrooms in far-off places, like Des Moines, and ran our traveling band of 12 or more from city to city, country to country. She went on to executive produce countless news shows, including her baby, 48 Hours. And now she's president of CBS News. And through it all, she has demonstrated that to be an effective leader in our business, you have to be fearless, which she is, and honest, which she is. And you have to win over their hearts, which she has. She's also proved that you don't have to be mean to be a strong leader. You can be funny and kind, which she is. Congratulations, Susan, on The Matrix. No one deserves it more.
Thank you, Leslie, and congratulations to all of my fellow Matrix honorees. Just being included in this list of incredible women is a true honor. Today is about honoring exceptional women and sharing experiences with the next generation. As the head of a news division, the stories we're covering now are cataclysmic. The president has COVID-19. The world is still suffering. Systemic racism. And the most important election of our time. The morning the world woke up to the videotape of George Floyd dying before our eyes, Gayle King reacted on the air in a visceral way. Shocked, saddened. She was speaking for a nation at that moment. She wasn't hiding her emotions. Much the same way Walter Cronkite did when he announced to the world that John F. Kennedy had been assassinated. That 8 minutes and 46 seconds of video we witnessed cracked this nation wide open and unraveled what so many knew for so long, that there is still rampant systemic racism and unequal justice in America. As journalists, we probed deeply into this story, but we couldn't only look outward. We had to look in the mirror at ourselves. The Me Too movement was empowering. It was a change agent. George Floyd's death unleashed a new movement that forced this nation to confront the harsh realities of these events. I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm an emotional person, once thought of as a weakness. But I've accepted that I lead from a position of humanity. We're covering this story from a deep, emotional place. I have had to face the reality that there isn't a single person of color at CBS News who hasn't been through something where their race wasn't a factor. We had to act. We've launched a series of initiatives, an advisory board, a race and culture unit advising every broadcast for tone and context, as well as producing specials. We've had numerous listening sessions coupled with training on microaggressions, and we have had to alter everything we do, from our recruiting process to our coverage. We believe we are on the right path. At this point in my career, I need not tell you how long, I see my heaviest responsibilities to uphold the highest journalistic standards and bring people together to evolve into the next generation of a balanced, more powerful journalistic workplace. I'm proud of the strong women in CBS in every rank. A fellow Matrix honoree said, "I'm a workhorse, not a show pony," and that's how I see myself. We are on the front lines, in war, in management, in creative positions, from the bottom of the food chain to the top. We act with intention, and yes, sometimes with emotion, but most importantly, with humanity. We are on the front lines when it comes to building a more inclusive and equitable organization for people of color. There is not a day that goes by, not a single day, that I don't think about who we are at CBS News. There's no more talking. We have to act, and we are. I thank you so very much for this honor.
All that stuff you just saw, that's just a small thing of the body of work that Susan Zirinsky does. And I can tell you, everything that you saw on that tape is all true. She is so amazing, and it's so deserving that Susan Zirinsky is being honored here tonight. I can tell you firsthand, she is an absolute badass in capital letters. She is kicking and clicking on all cylinders. She's 5 feet nothing, but she is a powerhouse. She has CBS News and journalism, I think, in her blood. I think if we cut a vein, it might roll out blue. She is so deserving of this award, so deserving. Congratulations to you, Susan. That concludes our Matrix Award honorees for the show. And it was a very, very powerful group and a really great class of 2020. I'm really glad to be here to honor you all today. But we've got one incredible award left to present. This is called the Incite Award. Now, the Incite Award, you ask, what is that? It is given to a woman taking action to incite change. Our 2020 award winner is a really, really perfect example of that. So let's hear about the amazing work she's doing in her own words. Tchen can speak.
Hi, I'm Tchen. I am President and CEO of Time's Up. What keeps me going during challenging times? This, I think everybody's feeling it. 2020 probably is the most challenging time any of us have faced. But what keeps me going is a belief that things get better. That, as President Obama always used to say, quoting, Martin Luther King, the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. But as he often would say, it doesn't bend by itself. So you've got to really put your shoulder to that arc and push it. And if there was ever a moment when everyone needed to bend and push, now is the time. There's an old saying, out of every crisis is an opportunity. So what I am hopeful for, as dark as things look at the moment, the opportunity here is we have now revealed to the entire country what so many of us have known for a long time, especially working women have known for a long time. Women have struggled by themselves without any help, oftentimes, on how do they balance caregiving and home care and self-care with the needs of putting food on a table and holding down a job. We are in a moment where people realize something has to get done if we're going to rebuild our economy better. So I'm hopeful that that's the next phase that we're about to enter into. Since late summer, Time's Up started an effort called We Have Her Back to really call out racism and sexism and misogyny in the reporting about women leaders and women candidates. Since we have an unprecedented number of women candidates running for office in this cycle, we felt it was really important to educate the media and news editors and educate the voting public as well about these kind of racist tropes that exist and really subconsciously influence how we think about women leaders. So we're working on that really hard. And then we are also working because we are literally just days away from voting. The most important thing that anyone can be doing or talking about right now is the importance of voting. Everyone in this country needs to be registered. They need to make a plan to vote. Voting this year is more complicated than it usually is because of the pandemic. If you're angry, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're hopeful, the way to express it, there's no more fundamental moment than when we have an election. And at Time's Up Now, we've been very active in making sure people get out and vote in these last remaining days. Trust that you've actually got the goods and you've got the information, and use your voice.
And now, Dylan McGee, it's your turn. She will present the 2020 Incite Award to the powerhouse, the badass, the smart cookie, Tchen.
Hi, everyone. I am Dylan McGee, founder and executive producer of Makers, and I'm so happy to be back at the Matrix Awards with all of you today. The memo I received said to dress up. So I assume that means that everyone is wearing a Girl Power t-shirt, because I can think of no better outfit to wear to present today's Incite Award to my dear friend, the one and only Tchen. Throughout her life and career, Tina has just been an extraordinary champion for women and girls, whether that was in her position as chief of staff to former First Lady Michelle Obama, or in her position as the first ever executive director for the White House Council on Women and Girls, or even right now in her position as president and CEO of Time's Up. Millions of women the world over are better off today because Tina has fought for them. And at a time like this, believe me, Tina is still fighting. She and the team at Time's Up are working to protect women's health and economic security during the COVID pandemic, to fight systemic racism and sexism at work and in the media and across society, and to really build a culture where sexual harassment and assault are no longer tolerated, period. Those, I may be dating myself here, but those big red buttons, I think they used to say easy, and now they say so many different things. Well, you just press it and it says, makes a noise. Well, I want a red button that just says Tina on it. And when I press it, I want it to play her laugh. Because as those of you who know Tina, she has this incredible ability to lift you up with her laugh and smile even when you're down. She is an extraordinary leader and has been such a big role model to me and so many others. So Tina, my friend, it is my honor to present this award to you today for all your extraordinary contributions. I'm sending you a big, big virtual hug, and I'll even throw in a big kiss. Mwah! Congratulations, my friend. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Dylan, for that incredible introduction. And I am so honored to be here as a recipient of a Matrix Award, to stand on the shoulders of the incredible women who have come before, who've received this award, and in the company of these amazing women who are my fellow awardees this year. It's truly, truly an honor. And it is a moment that I take to inspire me for the battles ahead. We are here on the eve of the most important election of our lifetimes, in a moment where we've lost heroes this year, from Elijah Cummings to John Lewis to most recently the amazing Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And in their honor, I will tell you that I am committed right now in receiving this award to doubling my efforts to make sure that everyone votes on November 3rd. No matter what the hurdles, no matter what the risks, we all need to vote, no matter whether we live in a red state or a blue city. We all need to exercise that superpower that we have as citizens of a democracy, and that is to make our voices heard loudly about what values we agree in and what values we stand for at the ballot box. Thank you.
What's our rallying cry on how to lead the way for the next 50 years? Be purpose-driven. Cheers.
Be passionate.
Be truthful. Cheers.
Be authentic.
Be unique. Cheers.
Be confident.
Be ambitious. Cheers.
Be resourceful. Cheers.
Be empathetic. Cheers.
Be heard. Cheers.
Be loud. Cheers.
Be forward-thinking. Be open-minded. And most importantly, be you.
Well, we have pulled it off, the 2020 Matrix Awards virtually. Can we all cross our fingers, our eyes, our toes, our legs, that we hope we don't have to do this virtually next year? I can't wait for normal to come back, and I know you feel the same. But before we say goodnight, we want to say first, thank you to our amazing sponsors. That's IPG, NBC, Adobe, Citi, Disney, Meredith Corporation, Carol H. Williams Advertising, and my home, CBS News. Also to the amazing NYWCI team who oversaw the creation of this whole show, and to our creative production partners to make out who helped bring it all to life. This was hard to do, but you guys did a good job. You pulled it off. Thank you for that. And thank you, too, to the honorees and their fantastic teams. Everybody got a team, and their presenters and the scholarship winners. If you would now like to help shape the future of women in communications, I know you do, please make a pledge to NYWCI by texting the amount that you'd like to donate. I gave you the number before, but here it is. Again, I'm going to say it twice. 347-970-8313. 347-970-8313. And following the directions sent to your phone. It's actually very easy to do. And lastly, a thank you to you. Yep, I'm talking to you. Those of you who watched the show today and hung in there with us today. We hope it was a very special couple of hours for you, too. That it maybe gave you a bright spot in your day. We all need some of those, too, lately. We also hope that you'll take a moment to celebrate the outstanding women in your own life. At the very least, we hope you'll feel inspired by the stories that you've heard here today, and that you take something from today as you all continue your own journey. And aren't we all on a journey? I'll go first. Yes, we is. Thank you again.